Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Dylan Phillips. It's good to meet y'all. I am a music teacher in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I really live in Arlington. And I am making this video and a group of videos of music lessons for piano for my friend Dallas Goff, who lives in San Angelo, Texas, which is 3 or 4 hours away from here. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but he's wanting to learn piano. He is a trumpet player. And so I am teaching him a few things from here and there. I hope this helps you, Dallas. What I'm going to be teaching you today is how to create the major scale. I'm going to give you a tool today that's going to teach you how to start on any note on a piano and then create the major scale of that key. It's a very simple process. You just have to figure it out. I'm a teacher that's all about self-discovery, and I want to give you that opportunity because it's the best way to learn, in my opinion. So without further ado, here we go. So let's jump right in. First, we need to understand what half steps and whole steps are. I'm going to very quickly explain that just in case you don't know. Half steps and whole steps. All they are is a measurement of distance between notes. Okay? Specifically, measurement of distance between two notes. Here's what they are. Think of this in like inches and I guess double inches. A half step is two notes directly next to each other. So we'll have, okay, those two notes are directly next to each other. Here's two notes that are directly next to each other yet again. Remember, when you're thinking about half steps, don't skip the black keys. We are not a discriminatory nation anymore. We have a black president, and we are proud of that. So, every two notes next to each other, half steps, and they sound lovely. So those are our half steps. A whole step, guess what? It's two half steps put together. Dun, 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 dun. So, if I start here, there's a half step, and now I'm going to travel one more half step from my starting note. Now I have a whole step. Okay, there's another whole step right there. So from here, there's a half step, there's my other half step. Two half steps make a whole step. If I start on my note here, E, if I start on E, half step, okay? So now I'm playing white note and a black note. It spreads across. One more. Let's start on E flat. Let me do this. E flat. There's a half step. There's another half step. So now I have a whole step. Okay? So a half step is two notes directly next to each other. Whole step is two half steps. You can also think of a whole step as playing two notes with one note in between them. And it can be anywhere on a piano, obviously. I should make a song out of that. Sounds like Scriabin or what's his name? The weird guy that wrote weird music. Somebody else. So, back to scales. There are 7 notes in each scale, in a major scale. Most people know that the C major scale are all the white notes on the piano. The C major scale is very easy to see on piano. It doesn't mean it's the easiest to play. Now, why are all the white notes the C scale? I will show you. There is a formula to creating the major scale, starting on any note. And the formula is a pattern of half steps and whole steps, okay? It's a pattern of half steps and whole steps. Here is your formula. Here is your pattern. It's going to be whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. I'll put that up on the screen. You have whole, whole, half, and then whole, 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 halves. Half step. So you're going to have 2 whole steps and a half step, 3 whole steps and a half step. What do I mean by that? I mean you start on the first note. To find the second note, you do the first one in your pattern, which is a whole step. And there it is. So that gives me the second note in the scale. Now we start on the second note, and we do the next one in the pattern, your whole step. That's the second whole step right there. So we got the first 3 notes in the scale. Whole step, whole step. Now we start on the third note, and the next one is a half step. There it is. Half step. No notes between. Half step. And then we're going to have 3 whole steps. Okay, so we start on the 4th note. Whole step. Whole step. yet another whole step, and then we have our final one, the half step. Right here. For the piano, it lines up towards all the white notes. And you have your C major scale. Now this pattern works, you can start on any note, follow this pattern, and you have created that scale in that key. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. Let me explain. Let's do the key of A flat. Okay? Well, A flat! Okay, key of A flat right there. There's our A flat. Now, we're going to find the second note. We got to follow our pattern. The first one is a whole step. There's our whole step. Then we go to B flat. And then there's another whole step. It goes to C. Then there's a half step. Goes to D flat. And then we have a whole step. Goes to E flat. We have a whole step. Goes to F. We have a whole step. Goes to G. And then a half step, which goes to back to A flat. And there's our A flat major scale. That's really hard to do while you're looking in a camera. Okay, that probably looks weird on the camera, but that is your A flat major scale. Let's do one more. Let's do the G major scale. That octave looks weird. We'll start down here. Here is your G. We're going to follow our pattern whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Memorize that pattern. You're going to need it for minor scales too. Whole step is first. Whole step. Half step. Whole step. Whole step. Whole step. Don't play that F. We go to F sharp. And then half step, which takes us back to G. And we have our G major scale, which only has one black note. It's going to be our F sharp. Whoops. Terrible fingering. And you have your G major scale. So if you follow that whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half pattern, starting on any note on the piano, bum, ba, da, dum, you have figured out that major scale, okay? It's important to know your major scales to understand how chords are constructed and how to use chords and why certain chords work in certain keys and why certain chords don't work in certain keys unless they're used in specific ways. So that's going to be it for this time. Next time I'm going to teach on how to build the major chord based on the major scale. All right? Hope y'all guys have a good day. Thank you.